Boom! What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another awesome video, another beautiful day here in Slow. Today we're going to be doing a oil change on my 2014 Scion TC. It is very easy, very simple to do, and is great to do for your car for basic maintenance. It also helps you save money doing it yourself. So today I want to teach you how to do it. First I want to start off by saying though, do keep in mind I am not a licensed mechanic yet, so please go about this at your own risk. But then again, I do want to say, it is really easy. It's not a difficult job. But that being said, let's jump straight into it. We're going to need a few things to do this today. What we're going to need here, if the camera will focus, there we go, is the 2014 Scion TC, and you can look it up online what your car will need. But most of them will always be OW20 for the TCs, is OW20 oil. The car only needs 5 quarts, and this is a 5-quart container. I always buy an extra one just to be safe in case you spill a little bit or your car does want to take a little bit extra, and just to keep in the car in case for whatever reason you start getting low on oil, you can just quickly fill it up. And then I have my Napa Gold oil filter. Yes, this does not look like a normal oil filter. The TC has a very unique one, so we're also going to be doing oil filter. Other things you're going to need is a funnel to funnel the oil into the engine, obviously, and a drainage pan. This is what will catch the oil, and then pretty much that. And then I always have gloves just to keep my hands clean and to get from getting cut up too bad. Not that these will protect, but with that being said, that's really all you should need to do an oil change on the car. Some starter things to talk about is I never want my car too hot, so I always like to let it sit if I've driven it, or do it before I've driven the car, but you don't want it completely cold, so I'm going to let my car run for around a minute or so to get the oil moving throughout the engine, let it warm up just a little bit so it helps drain smoother. Once we have that done, then pretty much we're going to let the car sit for about a minute or two so the oil drains all the way down into the drainage pan, and then we'll pretty much begin. So I just want to say that, but first we got to again let the car warm up. I got to move this car out the garage so you can pull this one in. So with that being said, let's get started on that. Also, it is time for a cold start, so let's quickly get that not too bad. Sounds pretty good if you ask me. Alright, so now we're going to let the car warm up for a minute, pull this one out, and then we're ready. Alright, now that we have the car jacked up, which is always the tricky thing in my car, this is how I have it jacked up. So if you'd like to do it, this is how to do it. If you look right underneath, if I could get there, there's a little jack point right there where you can jack up the car. You really don't need to jack it up a whole lot because the oil plug is not that far under there, but just enough to be able to get under there safely. And do, as I always say, please be very careful when jacking up the car. These weigh a lot and can kill you or seriously hurt you if you're not careful, so please be careful jacking it up. Make sure you're doing it responsibly and have all the right tools. So now I'm just doing my final sweep, making sure everything looks good. Again, do my stability test, pushing on the car, very stable, that's not going anywhere. So with that being said, yeah, you can see the drain plug right there. So with that being said, it is now time to start on the oil change. So, first thing with that, now that we're actually ready to go, make sure you're wearing something not too nice, that way you don't get it dirty, because you will most likely get dirty during this process. Again, I always like to have gloves just to keep my hands clean and all that. So with that being said, since I'm ready, let's jump in. Sorry, catching my breath because that's a lot of work jacking up this dang car. So yeah, Alright, now we've got gloves on. Always remember to take off all kinds of jewelry. You don't want this stuff getting caught anywhere inside the engine, because you could actually cause a lot of harm doing that, both to you or the car. So like I said, in this video we're going to be doing both the oil filter and the oil itself. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to come over here and watch out for that, and take off the oil cap. It also says, if you're wondering, on top of the oil cap it says what kind of oil, see if I can get the focus here, what kind of oil you want. Just like that, comes off. There you go. I always set that aside. You never want to lose that, because if you do, you're screwed. Grab the oil drain bin. Now usually I like to have some kind of fabric cloth or something underneath here to catch all excess oil that you may lose or drop. Yeah, let's see, get that right under here, because that's right where it's going to drain out of, right, like so. All right, so my car uses a 14mm. So pretty much what we're gonna have to do, this is gonna be a little tricky, because again, I usually don't have to hold a camera while doing this. So we're gonna do our best to do instead. Oh, I think I got it. Yep, there we go. All right. So not too much oil squirts out of here. All right, there we go. So just look at the oil. Pretty good. It's a little dark. Has a nice amber color to it. No metal shavings, it looks like. Always want to check that. As well as we'll check the oil filter once we get that out. But right now, that is looking pretty good. Just gonna come back and replace the oil drain plug. If I could get it up in there. There we go. And this is the main reason I like having gloves on, because it just keeps my hands from getting overly dirty. You never want to make this too tight, but you also don't want it loose, because otherwise it will leak. So you hand tighten right around there, should be good. Not much tighter than that. Now, we're going to be doing the oil filter, which is right there, if you guys can see it. Under there, there's a wrench piece. So I go ahead and use this, and just stick it right up under into there like that, and it will pretty much loosen it. I've already loosened enough I could do it by hand though. So, once again, you want to make sure the oil bin is underneath. Just go ahead and start loosening. So it should drop down any second. There you go. See? Drop all that down. Right there is the oil filter. We got the oil ring right here, so you'll always want to make sure that comes out. You always want to inspect this and make sure there's no metal shards in there, which you could usually see pretty well in the reflection in the light. Mine seems to be really clean, which is a great sign. It makes you feel it clip down a little bit. And once it's in, then you want to take the ring, make sure these are very clean, because you don't want these to get contaminated, because it could cause leaks and other things. You want to make sure that's on. Got it. So make sure that's slid all the way down to the base of the ring, so it looks like such. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to get back under there and put it on. Alright, so one thing I always do is I always dip my finger in the oil and rub oil on the oil ring, like so. That way it just stays nice and moist, as well as it helps give a better connection to keep it from leaking. So now we can slide this back up and onto here like this, and really just screw it back in. Alright, now I've got it pretty much tightened down. Just wiped off the dipstick to make sure it's completely clean, gives the purest reading for when we do fill it up to the most accurate. So now that we've got this, we're just really going to pour it in like such. Try not to spill too much, don't overflow. But now that we've done that, set everything aside. You then want to replace the cap, in which when you replace the cap, make sure it clicks into place / is tightened down. Everything sounds good. Sounds like it's running well. Always want to check under here, look for any kind of leaks. This was there from when I drained, so I know that's fine. I am not seeing any major leaking, which is a good sign. More I want, so I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's right in between, a little bit closer to the fill line, which is exactly where I want it. Now I like to check it twice just to be sure. So go ahead and check it twice, and once you've done that, you have pretty much completed an oil replacement on your car. Alright guys, the final thing we're going to do is reset the, if I can get my camera in here, the maintenance required light, which is this one right here, if I could get that to focus. The reason I want to do this is what times the oil change. So pretty much what we're going to do to reset that is change the odometer from the odometer to trip A. We're then going to turn everything back off. We do not have the car on, we just have it in the ignition on mode. turn everything completely on. And here's the tricky part because I can only hold one hand. With one finger, you're gonna hold this down on this little key piece right here. And in the other hand, you're gonna be turning the key, and that will reset the maintenance lights. So if I could do this one-handed, we shall see. So what happens when I do this, if I hold it down, turn the key to the on mode, as you can see, it is flashing dots/zeros and will count down. Then it will say 0, and now it's pretty much reset. So just like that, it's been reset as if you just got a brand new oil change, which we do. Now that we've reset to a brand new oil change, pretty much what that's going to do is at 5,000 miles, it will trip again and say, okay, it's time for you to do another oil change. I will then do the oil change and then reset everything. And pretty much I'll do that every 5,000 to 7,000 miles. On this car, I do 5,000 miles. Every 5,000 miles, I do an oil change for just the best maintenance, and it runs the best like that. So with that being said, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video on how to do an oil change on your car. Once again, it is very simple, very easy to do, very quick, and it's very safe to do on your own as long as you know what you're doing. And even if you don't know what you're doing, you know, it's something that you could easily learn and do, and it's very safe to do once again. But again, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And with that being said, I will see you guys next time. Hope you have a wonderful day. Be sure to be you, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.